Hey, buds. Welcome to the Fantasy Buds podcast. It's your host, Brian Gold.
Marc Letrio.
And I'm Tim Stewart.
And if you want to follow us on social media, you can go to the link tree in the description below and follow us on Threads, TikTok, and Instagram. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoy the show.
It's pretty rough in there. Craig Reynolds.
I mean, if you
not
have
looking good.
if you have to put Craig Reynolds in your lineup, then
like, holy.
it's probably already not looking good for you.
It's yeah.
I mean, Mixon's just not doing anything for me. Josh Allen has just been all right.
It's just turnover.
It's just mid all around.
Like, oh my God, he's got fucking 5 turnovers in 3 games
Like, dude,
and 1 rushing touchdown.
come on.
He's got 1 multi-touchdown game. Like,
Like, I
QB
picked you in
19
the
now.
second round for this.
yeah, and
Like,
then
come on, Josh.
and then Travis Kelce. He came through this week, but
Yeah, I think Travis Kelce's gonna be all right.
he's gonna be all right. But him missing the first week and a mid-second week.
Yeah, like
Kinda put me in
Kelsey's
this.
probably on a lot of 0-2 teams right now.
Yeah.
which sucks. Well, maybe you gotta be
Also-
0-3 teams.
And just real quick before we get into fantasy, like I'm sorry, but like who fucking cares about him and Taylor Swift?
Like, who gives a fuck?
Like good for them, but who fucking like? It's like, wow, like look who this person's sleeping with.
Hey, look
Like, awesome.
who they're fucking.
Yeah.
Look who it is.
So, anyway, welcome back to the Fantasy Buds podcast. So we had an interesting start to this morning. Mark, I had to wake him up to show up to our fucking show. And for that, we made an agreement last time, and this is on video, where Mark has to drop a player from his team, one of his teams. So we have our 2 leagues, the TJ League and the Free Agency League. I'm going to put some names in a hat. I'm going to read them off. And these are just, I threw you a bone. These are your bench players. But it fucking happens again. We're going into that lineup. So Zach Charbonnet, Tutu Atwell, Deontay Johnson,
oh,
Kadarius Toney, Romeo Dobbs,
oh,
Darnell Mooney, Tank Bigsby, and Cam Akers.
of course, you're not gonna make it easy on me. There's really only one name I really don't want to get, and that's probably gonna be the one that I pick out of the hat.
I need you to pick Romeo Dobbs so bad.
And
I'm not even gonna look. I'm just gonna. Looks like I'm dropping Deontay Johnson.
oh
Wow,
shit!
man.
Holy hell!
Tiny's about to put $350 on him.
Oh well, I mean,
And
could
then
be
try
worse.
to trade him.
Hey man,
It could be worse. I would say if you don't want to drop a player, don't be late to your show. But
accountability is important. It's important.
but
So
could be worse. God decided to lightly punish me this time.
lightly punish you.
But maybe you never know. Next time it could be Romeo Dobbs. I tell you what, that would have broken my heart. I think he might be in my lineup like going forward. I might just start starting
Really?
him. Like, just well, I don't know what the team's gonna look like with Christian Watson coming back. So I mean, who
When
knows?
is he coming back?
I don't know. That's the thing. When is he coming back? And like, he might not do anything anyway. I mean, he had a couple good games last year. I would say, probably like 5 good games, which is still pretty good for a rookie.
Yeah.
But I mean, play.
Play.
That's how I feel about Deontay Johnson. Play.
Like
Yep.
play.
Fucking play. You're talented. Play.
So you're gonna go back on the wire and drop 300 on him just to get him back?
Probably not that much. I'll probably put a bid on him to try to get him back. But if Tiny decides to put all his money on him, like, you can have him.
You know he will.
Yeah, like, I mean, like, go ahead.
You know he's gonna, and then he's gonna have one good week. He's gonna
He's
try
gonna
to
be
trade
like,
him.
he's gonna be like, I just want to thank you, Mark.
Yeah, and that, dude. First of all, Tiny changes like the weather. Dude, Tiny is the king of backpedaling.
Tiny little shit fuck.
Yeah. Like, I mean, like, if he backpedaled any harder, he would fucking break the pedals on his bike. And he'd fly off the front. Like,
That was a solid analogy. Mark.
he is fun. You can blow me, dude.
That was astute.
Yeah, I dropped Kadarius Toney, and he was like, "Well, thank you, whoever did that." 1 point.
Like, all right, Tiny.
1
like,
point. What the
you
fuck's
just-
the point, dude? You got to steal, buddy. Oh,
Like,
You?
holy.
GM of the year. Let me tell you, bud.
And 4 weeks ago, when we drafted about now, Tiny goes, yeah, dude, I just got to steal the draft with Jonathan Taylor. Like, I just won the fucking league. Like now he's like, yo, who wants Jonathan Taylor?
Yeah.
Who's trying?
Dude, oh my god, the whole fucking thing about Jerome Ford, where he's like,
Oh yeah, with fucking Kareem Hunt.
he picks up Kareem Hunt, and he's like, I just got the lead back for Cleveland, and he's trying to flip him, and
Like,
it's like
right off the
dude,
rip.
Like they had both Kareem Hunt and Jerome Ford last year, and they let Kareem Hunt walk, and then they signed Jerome Ford to a 4-year deal. So
The kicker for me with the whole thing with Jonathan Taylor is the fact that he, for some reason, still believes that for some reason he's going to get traded to the Dolphins.
Oh no,
He's not gonna get traded
I don't
to the
think
Dolphins.
anybody is getting traded to Miami after what happened yesterday.
can we got to talk about that? That
What was that Madden bullshit?
I see that like when I play Madden franchise, like that is
Yeah, like-
so for those who didn't hear about this, the fucking Dolphins lost, or no, they won 70-20.
70.
70.
70.
You're hearing that right. 70.
70 points.
If you
70.
had any of the following players in fantasy, you won off of these three players alone: Tyreek Hill, Mostert, or Achane. And if for some reason you have all three of those players and started them, you could just bench your entire team because it didn't matter. You still probably would have. I think you literally would have dropped like 130.
I mean, like, can we just say football is easily the craziest sport? That like
This is why we love it.
you have a guy like Raheem Mostert who completely left for dead. I mean, we left him for dead. I left him for dead.
I'm still-
I threw a dart with my last pick because I was leaving him for dead. Pretty much everybody's leaving him for dead, and for good reason, to be honest. He is. I want to say he's the RB1 now, but he's the RB2 until this weekend. He's still the RB2 in fantasy. I mean, what the fuck is that? Like, there's no way that's sustainable, right?
Look, I know he is talented enough. I just don't. I'm worried about his durability.
Yeah,
throughout the
it's
season.
like he is 31.
And he is 31,
Too,
and
so-
he just has a history of this. So like, it's not like I'm expecting it to happen, but
When it's a trend,
when it's a trend, like
It's-
it adds like a risk to your team, and I'm not sure that like I want to trust that.
yes. And look, he's been getting a majority of the touches. Now, HA did actually have 20 touches this week. So I don't know if that's because the game is getting out of hand or if he's actually
He
going.
did a fucking lot.
I
with
mean, I
those
would
touches.
argue he made the most of his 20 touches. I mean, if you finished with 200 yards rushing in your second game in the NFL,
60 points. 60
Yeah, I mean,
points
you
on my
know,
bench.
18 rushes for 203 yards, 2 touchdowns, and then 4 receptions for 30 yards and 2 touchdowns. So,
Like,
look, we're not expecting him
and
to
he's a
have
little guy. I mean,
Yeah, but like this could be, and look, we're not expecting him to have 60, 50 every week, but even if these guys are getting like 15, 20 every week, like you probably grabbed A-Chain in like the 10th round of your draft.
Yep.
And you probably grabbed Mostert either he was probably on the waiver wire or you got him for free basically at the end of your draft. And Mostert, we talked about how important getting off to a hot start is. If you have Raheem Mostert, you might have. I mean, this is a guy you pretty much got for free. Now, do you sell him high now? Like, do you get rid of him now? Because this offense, this could be we were talking about this yesterday. This could be the fastest offense ever. Like,
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
like in NFL history. So,
like the fastest offense we have ever seen.
Yeah.
Like, this might be, I feel like we should start talking about this now. This could become a historic, like,
but that's what I was about to
offensive
say.
performance we're going to see this season.
I'm like, could this be a historic offense
Like-
for the Miami Dolphins this year? I mean, we've seen historic things happen in fantasy football. I mean, look at Christian McCaffrey just a few years ago, having the greatest fantasy season of all time. And like, I mean, there are anomalies that happen, and
Look at the 2013 Broncos.
Yeah, I mean, Peyton Manning threw what, 50 touchdowns?
55.
55.
Yeah.
Like, that's insane.
And like, who saw that coming going into that season?
Nobody did.
Like an old ass Peyton Manning on that, and he was great. And then he fell off so quick after that.
Oh my God, I remember in 2015, he
My God, he was so bad.
he couldn't throw the ball 15 yards.
I actually felt bad watching it
I
because
know,
like,
but he won.
I like Peyton Manning, but like,
Yeah.
damn, like it sucked to see him go out like that.
Like, at least Tom Brady went out looking
decent, at least
decent.
You
Like,
could tell that he was regressing a little bit,
and he was
but-
probably like, yeah.
Another crazy part about that whole thing is they didn't even have Jalen Waddle.
yeah. And that's all.
He was out.
70 points without Jalen Waddle.
Guy
out.
also runs a sub 4-4.
You know what? We were praising Tua last season, and we got to give him his flowers.
Yeah, I think Tua is a top 5 quarterback.
At this point, I don't think it's questionable anymore.
I think you have to
I
say
do think
that
he's better than Lawrence at this point.
I
Really?
think he's got
Yeah.
an argument against Josh Allen at this
Yeah,
point
I think-
if he keeps this up.
I
Like,
think the top 5 solidified. We all know who's won, and then it's probably 1A, 1B with Hurts and Burrow. Then I'd probably say Allen, and then I'd say Tua. I think it's your top 5 because at this point, like
This season,
definitely
right
just
now,
this season
yeah,
right
definitely
now.
just this
yeah.
season right now, yeah.
To be honest, honestly, if we're just going off starting this year, I think Tua's 1. To be honest, like if you're just going off,
Oh well, if we're doing this year,
Like, if
then
you're really
going
just
off
the
the
numbers?
Tua.
but if
And what
you're
he's doing?
yeah, but if like I mean, if you punted quarterback and took 2, like this whole offense is a giant steal right now.
yeah.
I mean, obviously Tyreek, and maybe if you took Waddle, it might not really be working out for you right now because he was probably your second pick.
I think it will end up.
I think it'll get better because Mostert and A-Chain aren't going to keep doing this, but could they even, if they're even getting, like I said, 15, 20, they're smashing wherever you got them.
Smashing the ADP.
And like, do you want to get rid of that? What are you
even
going to
Ty-
get for that in a trade?
when you get Tyreek Hill in the first round, like it's just automatic. In this
I mean,
offense- in this offense,
this
it is
guy-
automatic.
no questions asked anymore.
We were right about who we thought like the top 2 receivers were going to be so far, with Jefferson
And
Hill.
Tyreek Hill was up there. I had Cooper Kupp pretty high, but that was before, he had the.
That's all right. But do you know what the
hiccup.
funniest? You know what the funny thing is? Out of all of us, I'm pretty sure neither one of them are the wide receiver 1 right now.
No,
I'm pretty sure Keenan Allen is the number 1 wide receiver right now
it might be Keenan Allen after this week.
because he had 13, 43, and then 55.
Can we shift over to Keenan Allen too for a second? Keenan Allen with
Holy
yesterday was a
hell.
crazy day of football.
Like, we were talking about week 1 being all sorts of fucked up, but
I think God had a bad day and went and played Madden yesterday. Like
bombed
he's like,
touchdown.
fuck. He's like, you know what? He's like, God gave. He's like, one of the angels like pissed him off or something, or something. He's like, Jesus Christ. Like that. Like I mean, I'm because I think he had 17 receptions.
18.
Jesus Christ.
18 receptions on 20 targets for 215 yards.
And then
And he threw for a touchdown.
for good measure, he threw a touchdown.
fucking touchdown.
Wide receiver. And it was
so
a
funny.
pretty long one too. It wasn't a short one either.
I think Mike Williams did the rest.
Yeah,
Like, he threw it like 20 yards and then.
still though, like
Yeah.
either
way, I
Either
can
way,
throw.
for a wide receiver, that was still a fucking dot. Like,
Yeah.
20 targets.
Dude, I think we should expect this going forward because
I was about to say, like,
Mike
do we-
Williams is going to most likely be out for the season. And
yeah, according to what the sleeper app said, they fear he's done for the year. So,
I would invest in Josh Palmer
yes.
because I saw him more involved than even Quentin
Touchdown
Johnson.
he had yesterday was ridiculous,
Yeah.
too, towards the end of the game.
I think Quentin Johnson's gonna have to show a little bit more
Yeah.
to move up because he's honestly struggled pretty hard so far.
He's a rookie.
Yeah, and I mean, like, it's expected, and he had some drop issues already. Like, that was kind of a knock on him.
Well, it's all about the timing and the trust of the quarterback and the chemistry.
And sometimes
it's
that
a
takes
whole
time.
Yeah.
Not everybody's Justin Jefferson as a rookie.
I think
Like-
we should give Kirk some credit for that because I think Kirk has chemistry with
Kirk's
Jefferson.
playing lights out right
Kirk
now.
Cousins is having an MVP caliber
He's playing
season.
lights out, and the Vikings just can't stop turning the ball over.
He's on pace for 5,000 yards, 51 touchdowns, 9 interceptions, and an 0-17 record.
Like how?
Like,
They just shoot themselves in the foot. They can't hold on to the damn ball.
and it's not even Kirk.
No, Kirk is playing great. The
Hockenson
rest of the
coughed
team
it up.
just can't hold on to the ball.
Madison's coughing it up.
Oh, dude, Madison is
Pretty decent fucking game, but
Can we all
still
just
a good game.
can we just say this right now,
man.
since we're gonna get to this? Our fantasy MVPs
already all looking
fucking
bad.
below.
They're already all looking bad, you guys.
It's man.
Look, to be
Not
fair
looking-
to us, like, come on, like, I didn't want to be like Justin Jefferson's gonna be my MVP.
Yeah, I mean, that's
like,
fair. To be fair, my MVP probably would have been good, and then Aaron Rodgers decided to,
I think
Die.
you should get the most like leeway for your pick because yours is kind of only doing bad because of an injury and not even to himself.
Yeah, he's
Yes,
got Zach Wilson
but
throwing him the ball.
At the end of the day, we keep saying the same thing. If the wide receiver's good enough,
That's true. And
That's
it's
a
like,
good point.
it shouldn't
Garrett Wilson
matter.
has been all right still, but it's the same thing. Like Zach
ceiling's
Wilson.
capped.
Now-
Zach Wilson is really not
That being
good.
said, I will say there was a play yesterday where he was doing a drag route. He was wide open, and Zach Wilson threw it like 5 feet behind him.
That's
And
all
he
I'm
had to
saying,
try to
like-
catch it with one hand while getting like fucking Batista bombed from the corner.
Like, I mean,
So-
we shit on Baker Mayfield, and I think he's better than Zach Wilson. I honestly think actually, I don't know. I don't think Justin Fields is better.
Justin Field, yo,
Damn.
oh my goodness.
All right, yeah, I was gonna say, can we
Like-
shift? So, is it time to give up on the Bears?
That's
Do we
kind of
think?
what I wanted to ask you guys. Like, I wanted to ask some players that you're giving up on after 3 games now. And
Send it. Go for it.
well, let's start with the Bears offense. Are you giving up on DJ Moore and Justin Fields?
Dog water.
I'm giving up on Justin Fields.
I'm giving up on both.
I don't want to give up on DJ Moore, but
I don't know, man.
it's just like
I'm giving up on DJ Moore because here's what's going to happen. He's going to have that 1 to 2 to 3 game stretch where he's going to be like
lights out.
15 to anywhere to like 35 points. And it's going to be, oh, everybody's back. And then Cliff.
I honestly hope that happens so I can get rid of DJ Moore in
No,
that
like-
case.
I'm telling you, like, you're looking at the numbers at the end of the game, and they're decent. Like, he had 20 last week, and he saved his day with a touchdown this week, and he finished with 13. But through most of these games, I'm sitting there looking at my lineup, and I see a big fat fucking donut
For like half the game.
for most of the game,
Most of the
into the
game.
third quarter, and
He's
then
a
it's like,
panic player. He's a player where when he's in your lineup, you're like, oh, God, do I start him or do I wait?
and I'm looking to honestly shop him This
wouldn't-
week.
I can't blame you at all.
because he has. I mean, his numbers are still decent when you look at it from the surface level, but overall, when I'm experiencing DJ Moore this year, it's been fucking rough.
Yeah.
And he had the dud the first game too.
Would you try to? So this isn't saying like a 1-for-1 deal, but maybe like a swap of like maybe you throw in something else because a lot of 1-for-1 deals for the same position they don't really make sense. So imagine like a package deal. Would you swap DJ Moore for Michael Pittman? Would you make a trade centering those 2 players, swapping those 2 players?
Yes. I would.
Because honestly, I think that DJ Moore
think-
is the better player.
I think you can do better.
Do you think you can get more
Well,
for DJ Moore?
the thing with Pittman is just his ceiling with the rookie quarterback, Anthony Richardson, and Gardner Minshew if he's playing.
That is true. So far, Richardson has rushed for a lot more touchdowns when they're inside the
Yes.
10.
Like, there is the chance that Justin Fields does go back to like the running game, and that opens things up for DJ Moore. But I think Michael Pittman, I have to flip a coin for that one.
Yeah, because I will say Michael Pittman has had 11 or more targets every game this year.
What did he do last game?
Had 8 or more receptions in every game this year. Last game, he had 9 receptions for 77 yards for 16 points with Gardner Minshew. Michael Pittman is the wide receiver 17 right now, and DJ Moore is the wide receiver 34.
Yeah. I'd do it.
Oh, 39, DJ Moore. I'm sorry. The wide receiver 39. I'm sorry.
I think I'd do it. But nobody would do it. I would probably package like
Yeah, I'm not saying a
Something
one for
else.
one because it doesn't really make sense all the
Like
time. to
maybe
just do.
yeah, because somebody's gonna be holding on to Michael Pittman.
So, would you trade DJ Moore for, let's see, Alexander Madison?
Yeah. Because they did trade for Cam Akers, but it was like a 7th round pick. It was the late pick. Or no, I think the Rams got a 6th round pick for him. I'm pretty sure.
Pick swap.
Pick swap, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So I don't think there's massive investment there to where they're going to bring him in and make him a workhorse. It does worry me for Madison's ceiling in terms of maybe not so much a fantasy MVP. But last game he did have, I think, 100 scrimmage yards, and he had a pretty decent fantasy day.
Yeah.
But I think I would stick with Madison just because of the offense.
Yeah, I just think it's a better situation.
Better situation. I would trade DJ Moore for Alexander Madison.
I don't think I would.
You don't think so?
Not because the only reason I say that is because right now Kirk Cousins is too hot. And he's airing out the ball too much. And so far, run game wise, they haven't really been able to get anything going. Even though they didn't really give up anything to get Akers, I kind of feel like the Rams realized, all right, we're not going to get much for this guy. So we really just got to get and do what we can do to get him out of here. And I think the Vikings probably went, you know what? It's just another weapon. I think it is going to affect Madison, not too much in the run game, but I think more in the pass game. I think you're going to see a lot more split gun with them having them both out there. And I think it's just going to be an annoying type thing to where one game it's going to be Madison, the next game it's going to be Akers. So I think really the only two solid, I know what I'm getting out of these guys every week is going to be Jefferson and Hawkinson.
Mm-hmm.
And Addison is still there too. And Kirk has been targeting Addison.
I'll say Addison's actually been pretty damn
He's
good.
been playing
so
really
far.
good. He's been double digits every week so far. And for me, I just think there's too many weapons at different positions. And now you bring in somebody else at that position that you traded for. Because they wouldn't have went out and traded for Cam Akers if they fully believed in Chandler and Madison. There's no reason to go out and get another running back.
I will
Do
say,
you think it's more for Chandler?
I was about to say, I think it's more for
That's
Chandler.
the thing for me that's the question mark. Is it who's it more for? Because so far, Madison's shown flashes, but
Yeah.
all around, he's looked dog.
Yes,
But so has Chandler.
Chandler's looked worse than that. He had 2
Exactly.
games with 0 yards and multiple
Exactly.
attempts.
And that's why for me, I don't know if it is just all right, that's it, Chandler's fucking gone, like see ya, or if it's they really don't know if Madison could do it by himself, and now they're bringing in Akers to actually take away some carries.
There was buzz
Probably help
Chandler.
him.
To be honest,
That's the thing. That's why it's
Chandler-
just a question mark for me. So I don't know if I would because there's too many question marks. I don't
There's
like
been
it.
buzz that Chandler's been struggling even dating back into the preseason.
Yeah.
So it's like even back into training camp. But like, so I really do think they're bringing in Akers more for the backup role. I do think Madison is going to start for them still. Madison's been there. We've talked about Madison a bunch on this show before. Like he's been there.
Madison's the starter.
Like-
I was saying, it's going to become a fantasy problem now, to where it's
yeah.
like one game Madison's going to go off, and then the other game is going to be Akers, and it's just
yeah.
going to be a headache.
it is going to
And
be.
that's why for
It
me,
could
I'm
be.
like, I just wouldn't.
Maybe they could be touchdown
But
dependent.
DJ
Yeah.
Moore has been even more of a headache.
That's
Yeah,
that's
he
also
kind
true.
of has, but and like he hasn't been awful. Like I don't want to act like he's just been absolute dog shit, but like it's just it's just not good enough.
Yeah, I would. So all right, let's move on to
Yes, we're not dropping DJ Moore.
not dropping DJ Moore.
Are you dropping
but
Justin Fields?
If there's other quarterbacks out there, yes,
Are you dropping Justin Fields for Jordan Love?
yes. At this point,
I
I think
think I would also.
I think so far in the season, I think Jordan Love has proved that he could be a quarterback.
he could be a quarterback.
I think I don't think I'd drop Justin Fields for Jordan Love, but I would pick up Jordan Love and start him over.
To replace him. Yes.
Just like I would take up a roster spot for another quarterback just in case.
But I'm saying, like, if you had to, like, say it's a league like free agency and we got 14 teams, you got like 4 bench spots, and like you have to drop your quarterback to pick up another one. To be honest, if I was 0-3, I think I would. I think at that point you got to shake something up. Like
I would try and trade Justin Fields. I would pick him up.
Look to trade him.
Pick him up and then trade Justin Fields. That's what I would rather do.
I do not think, truthfully, it's going to work out with Justin Fields in Chicago. And I think it's already heading that way, seeing as how instead of coming out and taking blame, he just said, oh, it's the coach's fault.
Zach Wilson move.
Like, he did come out and like they did like kind of clean that up, I think. But like I don't really think that was anything.
Come out with that,
once you come out and say that, though, after that, it's nothing but damage control from
right. Like
out.
it does look bad. Like, it really does look bad on paper.
Christ.
Yeah.
And Justin Fields isn't tied to this coaching staff. They did inherit him also, and they're probably going to have a high pick this year.
That's why I'm saying
So-
it wouldn't shock me.
Williams.
But it's going off of that, too. It's like,
Did they
if
have
you
their first
look,
round?
Yeah, they have their first rounder. It's the Cardinals. Who doesn't have their... The Texans don't have their first rounder? They give it to the
Texans
Cardinals?
don't.
No, the Texans have it.
No.
Some team gave either the Texans or the Cardinals their first rounder, and they're projected to have 2 top 5 picks.
No, wait.
This
'Cause they
year, I don't
moved
think
up.
the Texans have it this year.
Oh, because they moved up for
To get, yeah, that's right. They moved up, so the Cardinals
Will
had the
Anderson.
Texans pick. But no, like that's the thing for me is where I just don't. I do not see it working out fantasy wise for him. I mean, look at Tua. Tua came out and said, "Oh, I had to play better, brother, man. My brother in Christ, you had 5 concussions last year. Like it's not your fault. Like there's no
Brother,
account.
man,
It's like you said. It's like you said to start it off. Accountability needs to get done.
Yes, it does.
Justin Fields is playing like shit because as of right now, Justin Fields is shit. There's no way around that. It's not the coaching staff. It's not this. You have a dude, DJ Moore's wide open. You overthrow it to the kid in the stands. Like, that's not the coaching, dude. They showed it yesterday of him reading a defense. His wide receiver was wide open in the end zone. He decided to run the ball.
Yeah.
It's like when he goes through his progressions, his brain lags. Like,
It's like, holy fucking hell, man.
Holy
and that's why
fuck,
for me,
buddy.
it's just I would do what you guys said. I wouldn't trade Justin Fields, but I don't think it's going to work out. If Jordan Love's out there, I'd absolutely pick him up. Honestly, at this point, even if Brock Purdy's out there, I'd pick him up.
I was just gonna say one more because I didn't want to like spend a super long time on it because I just thought this one was a little spicy.
But we're going to spend a super long time on it.
Probably. Would you drop Justin Fields for Deshaun Watson?
Not yet.
No.
Not yet.
No, I
It's
haven't
only
seen
been
enough
one.
from
Yeah, it's only been
Watson.
one game from Watson.
And last year, Fields still did rush for 1,000 yards. And he did catch fire later on in the season. He didn't start off that way either.
That's true.
So I would still hold on to that hope. So how about Darren Waller?
Oh, God.
Like, it's so there. The opportunity's there, but he's not fucking capitalizing on it. And the tight end's pretty fucking thin. So would you drop Darren Waller for like Sam Laporta? Detroit Lions rookie. Tim looks like he's shell shocked.
It's because I don't want to be wrong about Waller, but I think we got to face the music.
Because like we haven't seen it for a while now.
Look,
Could we just say something about tight ends? Waller is still the tight end 4.
Yeah.
And it feels awful. Like
And
it feels terrible.
well, the
has
tight
one
end,
double-digit
the tight end,
game.
I'm guessing
Like-
what? The tight end 1's Hawkinson right now, I'm guessing, right? What?
yeah,
Right?
because he had a blow up game.
2's
one blow.
probably Laporte, and then 3's probably Kelsey.
Hawkinson
Probably around
is
that.
the one. No, Kelsey's not up there yet just because he missed the first game.
And
Well,
when they
Laporte-
locked this last week.
Laporte has to be 2. 'cause he's
Laporte,
been
so it hasn't switched over yet because
Okay.
tonight's games haven't happened. But Laporta is 7 right now. He'll probably jump up to the top 5.
top 5. Yeah.
After or in the top 3 maybe after what he did. I mean, he was honestly great, and he's surprising me because rookie tight ends have never really done anything historically. So he's honestly been a pretty big surprise. I think I would drop Waller.
I think I would. I think I would drop
for
Waller.
Laporta.
For
Like,
Laporte.
and this is saying like you don't like not saying like you can pick them both up. You're at that liberty. Like if you're in a league where you're strapped and you have to drop somebody,
You might have spent like a mid-round pick and kind of it's affecting you.
yeah. I mean, and look, the tight ends aren't great. Like Evan Ingram is the tight end 5 right now. He's been the most average player in the world, and that's good enough for the tight end 5. And Waller hasn't even been average.
He's been below average
He's
in terms
honestly
of points.
been awful.
Like it's like why even bother?
Like, it's just
I might as well like have just invested in a really late pick at this point.
yeah. But at the same time, like who are you dropping? Who are you dropping Waller for? Like because
Probably Laporta.
Laporta probably isn't available in many leagues anymore. At least in better leagues.
Are you trying to trade him?
This one's gonna be.
I maybe try to package him in with something. Maybe you can get somebody to like
That might
if
be.
you get another
gonna-
player you're willing to give up, like maybe DJ Moore.
Yeah, that's fair.
Like package DJ Moore and Darren Waller?
Well, yeah, because I don't think DJ Moore is like on paper he hasn't been like god awful. Like I don't think that like you look at his stats and you're like, oh, like I can't trade for this guy. Like I don't.
I might go pounce on Big B.
You might have to. No, I would say
He's
too
getting
another tight
ideas.
end. If Laporte's not out there, if Musgrove is out there, I would start picking him up.
Musgrove. Musgrave. I just want to
Musgrave,
call it
whatever.
Musgrove.
Musgrave.
Anyway.
Musgrove.
I think Musgrove is funnier.
No, if Musgrave's out there, I think if you're really hurting that bad at tight end, I would take him because I think right now he can only go up. Because the fact of the matter is, Aaron Jones has a hamstring issue. He said he felt like it was fine. The Packers didn't think that he was fine. Apparently, the Packers are running into Big B's issue in real life to where everybody's just nothing but a Q.
Nobody can stay healthy.
Nobody can stay healthy.
That's my problem, honestly.
And so far, Jordan Love looks like he trusts Romeo Dobbs and Musgrave. That's it. That's like his main 2 targets. That being said, we don't know because Watson's not back yet. But if you're really struggling that much at tight end, I think that's a very solid pickup.
Okay.
Because honestly, at this point, like, dude, every tight end besides Travis Kelce and CJ Hawkinson, they're all ass. Like,
or mid. They're
Or, like,
mid or worse. Like, to be honest, if you can get somebody who's mid, I
Yes.
think even like that's okay for a tight end now. Like I think if you have Evan Ingram or you have or like you've had Sam Laporta up to this point.
Yeah.
Or I'm just blanking right now as it's so fucking early in the morning.
Yeah. Good morning, sunshine.
But I mean, even Mark Andrews, like I would say Mark Andrews has been pretty mid. But the problem
he's
with that,
always mid.
and it's like the problem with that is like you probably drafted him in the 2nd round. Like,
All right, we gotta not even talk about Mark Andrews because I'm gonna go on like a 45-minute rant about how much I hate that motherfucker in fantasy. So
I was gonna say even Kittle has been way better.
yeah.
And like,
Well, to be fair, this was really the only game where Kittle actually did anything. And I'm a George Kittle advocate. He's looked up until this game.
But I will say
I'm
that-
hoping this is the game where Brock Purdy goes, oh yeah, that's right, I have George Kittle. From here on out. Like, this was the game that made him realize, like, oh wow,
yeah.
skill-wise, I have a top 3 tight end in the NFL.
You could just give it to him.
Yeah, like, but yeah.
who's the next Panic player?
Javonte Williams, the Broncos offense.
Blow it up,
I've been thinking about
panic,
this.
Panic.
I've been thinking about this Javonte Williams thing a lot.
At this
actually.
point, when you see that name, if there isn't a red siren and an alarm blaring in your head, you have a problem. It's over. It's done. The dream has died.
I loved the draft capital on draft day. Like I loved the ADP for Javonte Williams.
I thought
And
Sean
that's
Payton
why-
could save him. Nope.
That's why and now look, I got to give Javonte Williams some credit, and I think we all did for coming back as quick as he did from the ACL and from the nasty
have a
ass injury he had last year.
Serious injury.
And that's why I'm not completely out yet. The opportunity is there for him. The points are not coming. He is getting the ball.
The thing that worries me though is that the injury, like an ACL, everybody always talks about the year after recovery.
Yeah, and
Like the
that's
second
hard
year back.
sometimes.
Like
and
maybe
usually,
next year Javonte picks
That's-
up, and he doesn't really have a ceiling this year.
Yeah, if anything, look at Saquon 2 years ago. Coming off the torn ACL, he struggled big time.
Yeah, and then came back and was a value in most drafts.
Now, I will say Javonte Williams, it's getting harder and harder to defend him because
he hasn't really
it's hard
produced.
because he doesn't look explosive at all. Pretty much. Like, it doesn't really look like he's got any juice.
He is only getting X amount of carries, too. The highest attempts he's had this year is 13.
They're easing him back into
But-
it, which is fair.
Here's the problem. His schedule, absolutely abysmal. He goes from just facing Miami. He has Chicago next, the Jets after that, Kansas City after that, the Packers after that, Kansas City again. Then they have their bye. Buffalo, Minnesota, Cleveland, Houston, the Chargers, Detroit, New England, the Chargers, Vegas. His schedule, running back wise, is a nightmare.
The Broncos are never winning a game.
Like,
They're gonna go
their-
17.
Their
Maybe they
schedule
will.
is absolutely terrible.
I'm packaging him with somebody.
That's what I'm saying.
So I was
I'm
going to
trying to
say,
get rid of
though,
him.
so
Like-
what are you doing with Javonte Williams? Because who are you dropping him for? I mean, I don't really think you could drop him for anybody. I mean, are you dropping him for Rico Dowdle? Are you dropping him?
You can't drop him, but I'm
Yeah,
trading
like,
him.
You got to try to package
Could you package him up? Like, if
Yeah.
somebody's interested, just get whatever you can.
Somebody might just need a running back.
for him. Like, but that's the thing. Like, what are you even kind of getting for him?
I mean, if
at this
you-
point, like,
I feel like because of the value he's not your starting running back.
probably more often than not, no. And then if he is, you're in trouble.
I mean, there's teams where, like for you have Mostert and you picked up Kyron Williams, so you don't really have to start.
No.
So I would try and package him and get him out of there.
Just pretty much for whatever you can get.
So yeah, I think. I mean, that wraps up the any players that I wanted to talk about.
Oh, what for the are we panicking yet?
I mean, I don't have any more to add to that. Is what I'm saying.
See, I'm trying.
I think those are the biggest names
I think they're the biggest one, but there's
that we can start panicking about like early, because it's still early technically.
to be honest, I was kind of gonna say Dallas Goddard.
Well, he still has to play tonight.
Are we panicking about because there's been nothing?
He's got to play tonight though. Still, so
Yeah, and he
could-
does have to play.
He
so
could blow up and
we'll see.
it could all change. Holy fuck!
Nice job.
To be honest, I think
Idiot.
there's some. I think one guy that stands out to me a lot when I'm going around looking like for potential trades and stuff is Josh Jacobs.
Oh my god, Josh Jacobs! Like, what the fuck? What was last year, dude?
And this is why Josh Jacobs was off my board last year when I went, because this is who he was before last season. He was a touchdown dependent, pretty much inefficient running back
Like nothing
who
out
didn't
of him.
catch passes. And now he has been getting some receptions, but for a second, third round pick, 10 points, 10 points, 8 points. I mean, are you selling? Are you buying?
I'm selling it because I don't see this run game like going anywhere.
Yeah, like, do you see this offense getting better? I mean, do you see this team getting better?
I think it's just
really?
Devontae
Like,
Adams and that's it. And like maybe
I mean,
spot
Jacoby
start
Myers
with
has done
Jacoby
enough,
Myers.
but
Schedule, again, abysmal. Moving forward.
Chargers is nice. That could be high scoring.
Chargers could
But-
be
but
okay.
Green Bay, New England, at Chicago.
Chicago would be nice. Detroit would be hard. Giants tough.
Jets,
Jets
tough. Miami, tough.
Tough.
Kansas City, good luck.
Then a bye.
Minnesota, have fun.
that's a good matchup.
Like,
I think Minnesota.
I would like Minnesota,
but
Are they going to be going to the run game? That's the problem in those games because they're going to get.
Yeah.
They could be getting boat raced.
That's the thing.
I mean, they were playing catch up all last night during Sunday Night Football against the Steelers. So, yeah, I would be trying to move on from.
trying to move on from that. Do you think?
I actually do have. I would try to move on.
yeah,
I do.
You have
I
a-
think.
Did you have a guy?
I do have a guy. We actually talked about him a little bit last week, and I am an owner of him. I am scared shitless about what the fuck is going on with Derrick Henry.
I actually screenshotted a thing this morning with him.
Like, I,
Yeah.
as a Derrick Henry owner, even though the schedule gets so much easier, like, these were the 3 hell weeks. These 3 weeks are the hardest teams he had to face all year run-wise. But, dude, he didn't do shit yesterday
2
against
points.
Cleveland.
That was, I mean, Cleveland.
Don't get me
Cleveland
wrong,
actually has a good
Cleveland's
defense.
defense is really good. But
it's
he
Derrick
couldn't
Henry.
even
2
get to the
points.
line of fucking scrimmage most plays.
So Derrick Henry, this is from Ian Hairtits from the Pro Football Focus. 2016 yards per carry, 2016, 4.5. Then the next year, 4.2, 4.9, 5.1, 5.4, 4.3, 4.4. Then 2023, 3.2. Like that's a whole
tier.
massive.
That's
That's
another
massive drop off.
That's like backup running back, like 3 yards in a cloud of dust. Literally.
And that's the thing. Like, if you're selling, are you buying Derrick Henry? Because I don't think there's any better time. 2 points. And if you pick Derrick Henry, you're probably 1-2, 0-3. More often than not.
What are you giving up for him?
But
though?
that's the thing. Like, what are you willing to give up?
Like Tim, what are you willing to give up?
I mean, it's
Or like,
hard
what would you
because
search for in a trade to package Derrick Henry in?
I think it really comes down to what you need. Truthfully,
Like, what
If
do you
I'm
need?
in my dad's league? My weakest two positions would be either tight end or it would be honestly, it would probably actually be running back too. I mean, I have James Conner, but Saquon Barkley got hurt. So they say, oh, he's only out for 1 week. Whatever. I'm sure it'll somehow turn into 6. So I would probably be trying to package Derrick Henry to maybe get like a low caliber tight end, or no, try to get like maybe like a high caliber tight end along with like a mid tier running back, depending upon how strong your team is.
I think you got to look at what other people need too.
That's the thing too.
You got to find something that makes sense because like you need to find somebody that really needs Derrick Henry. But if you sell Derrick Henry right now,
I just don't think you're gonna.
I don't think it's worth it at all.
what I'm
I think
saying.
you should hold on to Derrick Henry. I don't think it's worth getting rid of him at this point. Obviously, you're never dropping him.
Yeah. And also, like, you have James Conner and Barkley's hurt, so like you might as well just hang on to.
He's gonna
Derrick
wind up.
Henry.
I think what they're gonna wind up doing next week is, if I'm Derrick Henry right now, I'm like, all right, yeah, I'm pissed. I'm walking into the office next week, and I'm looking at the coach, and I'm telling you,
I'm pissed. I'm pissed.
I am walking into the coach's office, and I am looking at him, and I am saying, if you don't give me the fucking ball every play
30 times.
30 times this next game, I'm done.
And I'm going to the Browns.
Like,
to
I
replace
think
Nick Chubb.
right now I wouldn't sell him, but I'm going to wait until he has that 1 to 2 back-to-back games where he absolutely fucking explodes.
And he
And then
will
I'm
have that.
shipping his ass.
All right, I think that's. I think. No, but that's
That's where
I
I'm
think
at
that's
now.
a solid plan.
So, yeah.
I would definitely hold him until he starts to get it together, and then. So yeah, I think we had a solid talk today, gentlemen. I think it's time we cue the music. Thank you guys for listening, and that's a wrap. We'll catch you next week.